first?
I don't know. That's a good question. You're wearing a different uniform from the last time we talked. I just had to see. This is why I need to put my glasses on. Hey, everybody. Hold on a second. Hey, everybody. This is all about Scouts. And I am here with the author. We finally got it working. I apologize for all of the mini snafus. So now you get not one, but you get 2 interviews you get to watch. And that's pretty cool. Those. Okay. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Vhaidra Stanoshek. Most people know me by Nick. One of the things you can see right here is I am the author of Vhaidra and the Destiny of Nikodemos. I am also a Scout volunteer all over the place. As you can tell from my current uniform, I'm a volunteer in Sea Scouts. I do stuff with venturing, I do stuff with Cub Scouts, I do stuff with Scouts BSA. I do things on the council level, the district level, down at the unit level, and for my religious organization, the Eastern Orthodox Committee on Scouting, I do stuff on a more national level, like I'm part of the planning for this weekend where we are having a virtual camporee. So do lots of things. And I used to work for National for the Boy Scouts of America as well.
Yeah, you got laid off when the when National did their layoffs, right?
Yeah, when they did the massive layoffs on January 31st. Unfortunately, I was part of that 40% of cuts the day before my book was released. So it was an interesting 24 hours.
Well, everything happens for a reason.
I agree with that.
You never know why, but no, I'm sorry that you lost the job at National. That really sucks. I'm glad that you did the book though, and I am excited to read it. So if you watched the live before, you saw me actually pull it out and open it. So let me show you the book because you see the poster of it in his background, but this is the book. And see, Scouters, we do more than just Scouts. So the goal, oops, sorry, I didn't realize that the audio was on my phone too. I have the audio or the live up on my phone as well. So if you have questions, please drop them below. But I believe strongly in supporting each other. I always believe that scouting is a scouting family. And so as part of my my goal during any time, but especially right now, is to support other Scouters. And so I'm actually more than happy to do this. If anyone doesn't know, I actually have done many book reviews, and anyone that has been with me on a camp out or anything usually knows I always bring at least 1 or 2 books. Okay, sometimes 3, I'll admit it. And I'm reviewing them usually, not always, but anyway, let's learn what this book is about. What is this book about?
Okay, so this book is about the main character, who's Vhaidra. She is a dark elf who comes from this very evil and chaotic society. She comes up to the overworld, as they call it, which is just kind of where we all live. And she is this strong female protagonist who comes up, and even though she is a stranger in a strange land, comes together, ends up finding friendship and all these positive things that she didn't have down below, and finds new meaning in life and grows and helps others grow at the same time. She has a wide variety of a group that ends up forming around her. And this is kind of her story, her first year as she comes up top, as you would say. And it's considered an epic fantasy. It's an action adventure. It has romance and it has spirituality in there. It has a little bit of everything going on.
Oh, that's really cool. Hey, sorry. You want to say hi to him again?
Hi.
Without chips
Hello.
this time? You okay?
Yes,
Okay, just go lay down and take it. Just chill. Okay. You can chill out over there if you want. That's fine with me. But you gotta be a little bit quiet, okay? So I can hear him.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, you guys. See, this is, what happens during pandemics. Your lives turn into kids walking into it. It's awesome. Actually, that's what scouting is about, right? So, um, no, I love it. You talked a little bit last time about having a good female strong character, and I actually really loved that. I love the imagery on the front. Can you talk more about the imagery on the front that you did and like why you chose that?
The cover designer is Stan Yak. He is an artist from Moscow, Russia. And he actually first drew my characters back when I wrote it. It's been almost 7 years ago now, when I first wrote everything down. And so because the focus is her, that's why she's right up there in the front, and she needs to look fierce and strong. She's not the woman needing to be saved type of thing. But then in the background, she's got Nicodemus there, who is like standing his ground behind her, just kind of showing that she is the main character in this whole thing. And they're there and they're going to fight whatever they need to get through things.
I really like that. That is really, really cool. I know, like when we had talked last time, you had said like a lot of people had given him many, many, many compliments about the fact that there was a strong female as the protagonist.
Yeah, that's what people had said. They said, one of their complaints is a lot of fantasy novels out there. The female is the one needing to be saved all the time, or if it is a female protagonist, she's represented as more of a sexual object instead of she's just strong and she's a leader, and she, that she is somebody that others can follow and look up to. And so I think that really is something that makes Vhaidra quite different from a lot of the fantasy tropes out there.
Yeah, I mean, you can almost turn it into an essay. How is this like scouting? Just kidding. No ideas for all my teacher friends out there. Kids are writing enough essays as they are, and teachers are grading enough of them as they are. You were talking about last time too, because I had asked you about this. Can you explain this image? Because this is really, really cool.
Yeah, so this is the next book, which is Vhaidra and the Dragon of Temple Mount. And that is the book I just signed my contract for this week. So the manuscript was just turned in. But what you see in the front there is you see Tiara the Dwelf. A little bit behind that, you see two of the other supporting characters, Elder Dionysius, the wizard, and Miriam, the ranger, and then behind them the dragon, which kind of ties into the name. And those three get to be featured on the second book. They're supporting characters throughout it, but this one will learn a lot more about their background, where the first one focused, for the most part about Vhaidra and Nicodemus, who continue to be the main focus, but we get more of these other characters, so they get their cover time.
I love that. And it almost looks like a coloring book, actually. Like, although probably people don't think that way about it. Okay, trying to take out all the secondary noises I'm hearing, even with my headphones on. So you had talking when we had talked about this and then this. You were also talking about there was other like things that you were doing in terms of games and stuff to kind of take this and like take it to like a different platform and kind of introduce like different. Like bringing the book to life, essentially. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, sure. So I have worked, there is a family role-playing game called Heroes and Treasure, and I worked with that creator, and the new expansion that is coming out in March 2021, Vhaidra and Nicodemus will be in there. And so the characters will play, and then they will come upon Vhaidra. She joins the party, and they go on this like quest. And at the end, they end up meeting up with Nicodemus. And so that's one of the cool things that I've done to help cross-promote. Another thing that I've done to cross-promote is I have Lego minifigures being made of Vhaidra and Nicodemus. And I have just on my author page, I've just posted some of the prototypes. They're not final colors or anything like that, but just it gives an idea of what they're going to be looking like. And so those are two of the things that I have going on right now as little cross promotions and allow the characters to come to life in other ways.
That's really cool. Actually, I did see that. Do you want to share that? Like you can, oh wait, I need to make you a co-host.
Yeah, let me go ahead and grab those images real quick.
Yeah, we were while you did that, we were joking last time because we were saying that like in his like little like the live the like video games and stuff like that you could actually, we were joking about making them earn, do requirements and earn rank. only scouters would think like that,
right?
Yeah, no, and while he's getting that up, remember, like, if, what we're going to do is don't forget you can order the book, and we're also going to, when we hit, 10,000 likes on the page, he's graciously agreed to give away a book as part of the giveaways, which I think is super, super cool. Hey, Donna, how are you? So I think it's really cool because then we get to promote other scouters doing what they love. So if you have anything you want to help promote, even if it's not directly scouting related like this, let me know because we definitely want to support you guys. The other thing let me know when you have it up.
Okay.
I'm just sharing some of the stuff we did last time. But yeah, we're going to do a bunch of giveaways when we hit 10,000 likes. And I would love to support you guys and have you be part of it. But what I really love about this book, again, about, having strong, a strong female character that is the main character who's kick butt, I think is really important. I think that, as I was looking at it and, it's written for really a whole variety of audiences. And so my son, by the way, when I actually got off and I was talking to him about it, he has actually agreed, which is really big for him, that he'll actually read the book and for you as well. So you'll get more than one perspective. You'll get the, you'll get the scouter perspective, and then you'll get the scout aka my mom is really old perspective. But yeah, no, what I love about this too is you can see, let me see if I can put this up a little bit so you can.
I'll go to read it.
Oh, see, my younger son has agreed to read it too. So the typing, so the lettering is actually pretty well done and spaced out, which is really, really important. So it would be a fast read. This is my younger son.
Hello, everyone. I'm gonna leave now.
But yeah, no, I think this is great because it really kind of, it's okay. You good? Okay. Just shut the door behind you. Sorry. With lives, you never know what's going to happen. But again, like, there is very well spacing in the wording. That's number one. Number two, the other thing we had talked about was the index. If you want to share what you got first, and then I can show this part because this is really huge. So those of you who are like me and don't play like as much of the fantasy games, there is like an index of a glossary. So if you don't understand some of the terms, like, can you explain that a little bit more? Because obviously this is your book.
Yeah. So what I have done is some words that may not be familiar to readers, I have them explained exactly what they are. Like Nikodemos is a cleric, and there's different ranks of clerics, and they run into them throughout. And so it'll explain like these type of ranks. It explains clothing. It will explain different things for each of the characters. And so some people can just jump in and read it right away. And other people, they're like, wait, I don't understand this. So I made sure that I have an index there in the back, and people can look back there if they come upon something and they're able to see, oh, okay, this explains exactly what this is. I understand what's going on now.
Yeah, there's like the hierarchies of the monks, types of monasteries, the clerical hierarchy of the way. And then I shall turn this page eventually. It will finally turn, I swear. The clergy, robes, clothing, and vestments, and the 12 mysteries of the way. That's almost like the 12 points of the Scout Law. I'm just kidding.
There you go. Okay, I am ready to share some pictures here then.
Go for it.
Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, so this first picture, this is the line work for Heroes and Treasure. And like I said, this is a role-playing game that's for the whole family, for people who maybe don't even have a background in role-playing game. Anybody can play this. It's like takes 5 minutes to learn, and it's made so that as long as you can at least count on your fingers, you can play this game. So they say it's like from ages 2 and up kind of thing. It's got more of a anime style of art. So as you can see, this is more of a anime take on Vhaidra. But it's gotten, the people that I've shown it to have just absolutely loved it, including Staniak, the creator of my cover. He's just like, wow, this is amazing. And my colorist, Robert Nugent, they're both just blown away by this art. So they were super excited about this. And then the
Well
other,
done.
yeah, I was really surprised on just how good that was. All right. All right, close that one out. Oops. Okay, let me share again because it stopped sharing.
It's okay, it happens.
Okay, and so these are concept photos for Vhaidra and Nikodemos as Lego minifigures. Of course, once again, the colors are not set yet. This is just a first part, but you can see, this is Vhaidra definitely here. And originally, as what you can see, is there were going to be the spiked shoulder pads because she's got those, but with the Lego pigtails, it wouldn't fit. So we're going to end up having to go without having those spiked there. And then Nikodemos over here, he doesn't have his vest on, and the beard color isn't there, and his Yan Yu Dao, which is his weapon, which is jade. It isn't in the colors yet, but these are just some basic setups, and they've gotten a lot further than I expected to them by this point already.
That is really super cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I was shocked. I mean, they even went into the details because I don't even think I had spelled it out. There's a point later where something happens to Nikodemos' eye, and they've even put that in the figure, as you can see here. And so I was pretty amazed that obviously they went through and they had read the book and got little fine details for making the characters.
Hi. So I'm started peeking a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's happening to both of us. It's perfect.
That's all right.
Yeah, no, this is really cool. So are you going to sell them individually, or are they going to be a whole set?
They will be sold individually. And it's first these two, and then they're going to make the ones of Tiara and then Elder Dionysius, who are on that second cover. They would be the next two that they'll make.
That is really, really super cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it. So
like, here's there you go. I love how like it kind of fades in and out. I don't know why. But yeah, no, I love this because this is really, really, really super cool. I mean, this looks like a really good book. And again, I am totally down for supporting other Scouters. So thank you for actually sharing and allowing me to review it and for my kids to review it.
Absolutely.
I think you said you would actually be willing to even do a Q&A with some of the younger ones, because I think that you had talked about this being more upper teen and young adult and stuff like that, and I think it actually probably has a much farther reach, because I think I had said it in the last one, but there's a lot where kids are reading more advanced for their age, or than what we read when we were their age, let's put it that way. So there are things that I probably would have read in school that both my teens are reading in school. So I think it would be really cool they would love this. This is something that they would actually be down for reading. So it'd be really cool to see what their thoughts are.
Absolutely. It's one of the things where what my publisher said is primary is young adult, which is 14 and older. But it all depends on the kid, based off how mature they are and what their parents agree with them reading and everything. Both of my kids, who are now 7 and 10, have read the book and have loved it. Of course, I originally told it to them in segments, actually as bedtime stories. So, they kind of got the gist, but they got to finally read everything with all the details and everything. And they liked it. And there's some other kids. You can see I put pictures up of people reading my book. I ask people when they're reading it, hey, send me a picture of you either holding the book or reading the book. And there's actually a lot of youth who have read it as well. So I've had on both ends. And just most recently, my mom, who's in her 70s, let one of her neighbors read it, and she read it and she's like, I didn't think I was going to like this book. I'd never read a fantasy book before, but when is that second one come out? So, I mean, we got a wide range of people loving this book. So I'm really excited about that.
That's really, really cool. With all of the things, with all of the positions that you hold in scouting, you don't happen to be like an NBC for, I don't know, reading?
I don't happen to be, I do have a son who's going to be crossing over in January. So we'll see what comes with that. I keep saying I'm not going to take on new positions, but it seems to fail that plan always.
Okay, well, here's an application.
All right, here we go.
But you should think about it because it would be really cool. Because I think one really cool thing that we have in common is that I've actually started to write a book. I was asked to do one a long time ago in college. And I think, that writing a book for some people, and I won't speak for everybody, but for some people is an art form. It takes a long time to come out with that book. How long have you actually been putting together your book?
So my book first kind of had some floating concepts like in the early 2000s, but it was like about 6-7 years ago. I decided, I need to just write down this short story I have in my head. Well, so much for it being a short story. I started writing a short story. The characters start telling me where they're going to go. Well, no, this interaction would make them do this. And it became a whole book. And I just kept on having stories and stories. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to end up being a whole saga. It's going to be a whole series of books. So while it took that long, the writing of it itself, I would say probably took me 3 to 4 months to write it. And then I just spent years where I would go over it and I'd make edits to it, just clean up type of thing. But the most recent book, I actually started writing when I was originally furloughed back in March. And I wrote about half of it in 3 months' time. And then it took me about another month and a half to write the second half of it. And then I spent a time, maybe about a month, of just continuing to read over it and just kind of clean it up. And then I would end up taking chapters and moving them around, saying, okay, well, actually, it'll make more sense if this goes further. But what's really interesting is before I was even halfway done with the second book, I'm more than halfway done with both the fourth book and the fifth book. And then the third book's only got like 3 chapters written into it. So I know where we're going with it. And I have concepts written, throughout for all the books that come afterwards. So I know where the journey's taking me, but sometimes it gets derailed and the characters start telling me other things and we go there, but the journey still happens all the same.
I love it. It is an art form. I don't know. I mean, like, I literally know exactly what you're talking about. When you write something out and then you're like, I'm not sure about that. But then if I go with this other vision that I have, then I have to rewrite the whole other thing. Mm-hmm. And so it's definitely like moving a lot of pieces around. It's really, really, really cool that you're doing this. I don't know. I'm excited. Like, what if for those others that are like scouters or scouts, or even those that aren't scouts who are aspiring writers, because I know some scouts of mine are, what advice do you have for them?
Biggest advice is, this is one of my biggest things I say: get up, get out of bed, write. So like in the morning, like when you get up, don't just lay around. You've got ideas there, write them down. I have on my phone, I have a notepad that I only use for book notes. So like when ideas come to me, I write them down real quick. You've got to write them down. You never know when inspiration is going to hit you. One of the craziest things is it seems like tons of my ideas come to me when I'm taking my shower. So as soon as I'm done with my shower, I got to get over to the computer and start typing stuff down. And it'll end up being hours later. And I've written chapters, and it's just like, okay, this is awesome here. But you need to be ready for whenever inspiration hits you. Have a way to write down your ideas. Don't try to keep them in your head. You will forget them. But if you're trying to write something like a book, Like when you get up, you just need to get to it. You can't take the time laying around in bed. I mean, I enjoy doing that. Don't get me wrong, but just get up, go write. That's the biggest thing is whenever you have the time, do it. And then when you're going, it's never going to be perfect the first time. So don't expect that either. You're going to go over it. You're going to rewrite it multiple times. You're going to take parts out. You're going to add something else in. These things happen, but just the very concept of writing it is going to help you. And then just one last thing, not to go too long. Great writers are great readers. If you don't read, you can't write. So read, 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 not just in whatever genre you want to write, read everything because you will learn from that. You will become your mind will be open to more ideas, more ways of writing. It'll make you into the writer. It's just one of those fundamental rules. You have to be a great reader to be a great writer, or even a good writer, a mediocre writer.
No, I love that. That is really, really incredibly true. I was reviewing books back to back. There was 1 year that I reviewed, I wanted to say like 130 books, which is like remarkable. But I did. And so I was reviewing, and you're so right, because sometimes I was reading and reviewing books that I did not like. And I always try to tell my kids, like, even if you don't agree with what it's saying, right? Because some of them were not all like fantasy books. I mean, even if you don't agree with what they're saying, even if it doesn't make sense, there's something that you can learn from it. Like, look at the positive side, because there's something that you could always do. And I'm trying to even get my kid to see that now with schoolwork, because he has to read a book and he's like fighting doing it.
Or you'll learn what not to do when you're writing too. You could read something and go, oh, that's really bad. I'm going to make sure I never do something like that.
Exactly. You know, I agree with that 100%. I mean, and it even goes, you know, like I graduated with theater, right? So I think about my writing also in that aspect as well. Mm-hmm. So I love what you said when you say, when you get out, you write it, because sometimes what you can see or what you visualize or conceptualize is not, it goes as fast as the wind. It really kind of does. And so I love that piece of advice. Yeah, no, we don't have too much time on here, but I am so excited. Actually, you have a whole Christmas package put together, like with the figurines, the game, the book. Like, you should just package it all together and sell it for like a Christmas bundle. That would be really sweet.
Yeah, that is something I could definitely do. And, you know, it's also things that I do just to kind of expand things out. You know, the game will actually mention, it'll say, these are characters from Vhaidra and the Destiny of Nikodemos. And then we'll have a little ad for the game and for the Legos in the back of the upcoming books, starting with the next one. And so it'll kind of, you know, get people from one to another. And I'm still working on some other deals that I can't even really talk about at this point, but I try to do as much cross promotion as possible. You know, it's one of those things. My publisher does do promotion for me and such, but I mean, I've got to do it as well. If I wanted to sell and I want people to know, here's what the story is. And thankfully I'm getting, you know, great responses from it. Haven't got anything less than a 4-star review, and there's only one 4-star review. The rest are all 5 stars.
That's not always easy to get.
No, yeah.
That's impressive. As someone who's reviewed books, that's impressive.
Yeah,
because I usually try to give more stars, because usually I see other book reviewers being really harsh, and so like, while I could totally see their point, I try to give a little bit of leeway. So it's kind of funny that you say that. Like, normally when you write a book, you expect to get both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah,
automatically.
I totally did, and I kind of appreciated when I got that 1 4-star. I'm like, okay, good. All right, you know, I mean, because I didn't want it to look fake with all these 5-star reviews, you know. And then I'm like, okay, I got the one. And anybody out there, that doesn't mean I want any more under 5-star.
Well, no, it matters. I mean, because I mean, someone who writes is always, one reason that we write is to create, you know, and so you learn from what other people are seeing it as, you know, because what's what you're visualizing and conceptualizing and what you put down in paper are different than how someone else is going to read it. It's just like a normal conversation, you know, like in that regard, because you could say something and someone takes it completely, you know, wrong, for example. So it happens.
Yeah.
So I mean, that means like to like put in perspective for everybody, which we did not say yet, his book has been like right underneath, like, what was it, like Harry Potter?
Yeah, it was the most recent Harry
Walls?
Potter ones. Yeah, so
Yeah.
there were 3 different versions of it, and then I was number 4. That was in August. That was under English fantasy literature, and then in September it fell down to number 5, but it was still above one of the versions of the Harry Potter books. So it's been doing pretty good for new fantasy books. So pretty happy about that. And it was actually, for a short while, it was number 1 in English literature, new English literature over at Barnes and Noble. So that was pretty exciting too.
That's really cool. So you know you're doing something right. You know,
Yeah,
like that's the niche. Like, and since, you know, like I know you believe in, you know, you believe in God. I believe in things that happen for a reason, you know.
I believe in
and
it.
it's very cool that this happened right at the same time, you know. Like, it's unfortunate that you lost your job at National, and I'm sorry. And I'm sorry for everybody at National who's, you know, lost their job, because I know several people who did. But you know, there's always a new page to turn. And obviously you're still in scouting. So if you guys watch the YouTube, you'll see that he and I started talking about all these like awesome ideas about scouting and what we're doing. And but I do have to ask, so you're wearing a different shirt than what we did for the other interview. Which one is this for?
Okay, so this is Sea Scouts. So this is my Sea Scout uniform. It's actually my one that, let's see, it's actually my one that still has my national staff badge on there, but I'm a committee chair. I am a religious emblems coordinator, both at the unit level, the district level, and the council level for Sea Scouts and for venturing. So yeah, that's what this is. It's the dark navy. You know, a lot of people say, oh, wow, that is the best uniform that the BSA has, you know. But it's not one you see a whole lot of, especially depending on where you are. You may not see it, but we are quite a program. It's an older youth program like venturing, and just like venturing, it's some of the most amazing you ever meet are Sea Scouts and venturers.
Ahoy, mate. Sorry, I couldn't think of it. Ahoy, matey. No, I think that's really, really cool. And so, you know, you and I had talked about, even like when we do these group conversations, because I'm getting together a couple of different people about talking about scouting from different perspectives, right? And it would be super cool. So I know a couple of people who do Sea Scouts, but it'd be super cool to bring someone who does Sea Scouts and venturing, and, you know, as well as, you know, the other people who like me are doing Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts / Scouts BSA, and have like a whole conversation about the program, because there's a lot of misconceptions about it. But you know, you definitely bleed green, because you are still doing scouting even afterwards, and that's huge. But
it's in my blood.
Yeah, no, I think I'm making up for it, because I was not a scout as a kid. And I'm making up for it big time right now. Let's put it that way. That being said, once you get the bug, or once you drink the mud, one of the two, it stays with you. But yeah, you guys, like, go check it out. We'll be doing a giveaway for this pretty soon. We hit 8,000 likes today, so I saw that.
Awesome.
And then we will set up a time. So when we get to 10,000 likes, we'll actually do all the giveaways. So I'm going to start making that list. So if you guys want to be part of that, please do, because I definitely want to support you guys. And that is scouters, scout parents, or if you're a business or an entrepreneur that has something that relates to scouting. I want to support everybody. Plus, it's just fun. You know, we need more positivity in the world right now. But yeah, no, I can't wait to have the scouting conversations in more detail with you guys as well. And with you, because I know we had some good conversations about ideas and stuff.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I love to talk about scouting. I'm constantly doing scouting, so super excited.
You know, it's bad when you dream scouting. Like I have this meme that like comes that I'm in the process of making, and just like just like writing, I go, wait, hold on a second, that's not quite right. And some of the memes, I take hours sometimes making them, because if it brightens up the day and it just gives me something else to something to get my mind off of what's going on in the world right now, then all the better.
Right, absolutely.
And if anybody finds a good meme for me to share, I will share it, because we all need good laughs around. But yeah, we will talk soon, and thank you so much. And don't forget to go buy his book. Oh, you said it was at like where can I get this book? If I want like a bajillion copies.
Okay, well, we have a link here to the Amazon page, but it is available in over 20 countries. And at Vhaidra.com, I actually have over 50 bookstores where it's being sold out. Some of the big ones like Libris, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Book Depository, Bookshop, all the big places, you're going to find it. IndieBound, and a lot of the smaller local bookstores like Interabang in Dallas, which is a big one, Tattered Cover in Denver. You have like Strand in New York City. So they're available there. And then any place that sells ebooks, it's available. Apple Books, Google Play, Nook, Kindle, any of these places, it's always available too. Personally, I'm a person who prefers the paperback myself. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Walmart has it available both as paperback on walmart.com and the ebook version too.
Oh, if you want to, after, we can link it below. Like if you want to go in afterwards. And if you have any questions for him, he and I both will be checking the comments if you guys have any questions. And there was like a little blurb. Last time someone asked exactly what it was about. If we wanted to like write up that little blurb and put it in, that would be super cool too. Because this would actually be not that like I'm going to try like promoting like someone else's book as like my own, but it'd make a good Christmas present for kids, because my kids are excited about reading this book. And that's pretty darn cool, because they, normally the books I review, they're like, even if they're good books that they would like. So that's a good indicator. Then you have a good indicator. But I look forward to talking soon. We will chat soon. There was something else I was going to say, and I'm spacing it in my brain. Oh yeah. So I have a couple of connections, if you want, potentially for blog reviewers. And they would actually do a review on their blog as well as on Amazon. If you would like to do that, I can connect you with them.
Absolutely. I am always more than happy to get people reading and sharing their comments. And, like one of the things you were talking about, how people see things differently. It's one of the things I've even told people. I'm like, hey, if you, for any reason, can't give this book a good review, please let me know. Feedback is a gift. It's something that, we learn in Wood Badge and C Badge and everything. But feedback is a gift. And I know whatever feedback I'm going to get is going to make me a better writer. So I appreciate people reaching out to me with anything they have to say about my book. So I'm always glad to hear it.
As long as it's Scout-like.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so much in admin mode. Oh my gosh. I was just adminning something, so that's why I was like, as long as it follows the Scout law, and I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm excited. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to have you back on, because I'm gonna have him back on so I can actually, like, after I fully read the books, I can have questions. Because that will be fun, and that I have never done before. Out of all the hundreds of books I've read before.
Well, cool. I am looking forward to that.
Fabulous. I will talk to you later. I know we both have to get going.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. And everybody have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day.
All right.
Ciao.
Bye.